Okay. Cool.
Oh, sleepy sleeping.
What?
Oh, as you guys are walking, I'm like.
All right. Okay. So hi guys, welcome back. I'm really glad to see you guys here again. So today I kind of want to introduce some exercise from Gottman's approach that I feel that might be very beneficial for you guys and learning different ways of communication styles. Okay, so are you guys willing to try these exercises with me today?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So the first thing that we're gonna do is fondness and admiration. So a lot of the times it is very important to examine the positive aspects of your partner's personality. Many times when people are upset with one another, they lose sight of the positive aspects of the partner and their relationship. So when the positive areas of a partner or of a marriage get acknowledged and discussed, change is often more possible. Okay, so exploring areas that you appreciate might have, maybe some positive consequences. Okay, so in this exercise, I'm going to give you guys two sheets of adjectives. Okay, and so here are the copies. It's pretty much a checklist. And so I'm going to give for both of you guys to just kind of look over a little bit. For a few moments, I would like for you to look over these adjectives and think about selected aspect of your partner's personality. Even if there's only one instance, when you saw this characteristic in your partner's personality, I would like for you to consider it. I would want you to circle 3 to 5 of these adjectives and just maybe put a little side note on the side of when you recall that your partner displayed this personality. And then I want you to get together with your partner and discuss why you chose these adjectives and share maybe some stories in which your partner exemplified these characteristics. And then we're going to take turns, okay? So I want you guys to take a few moments to just kind of look those over and just kind of remember, maybe like a story that you can attach to it, and then we'll discuss it with each other, okay?
Okay. That's not spelled right. Okay.
Okay. So who wants to start?
I'll go. Mine are strong, active, and protective. Mike displayed his strength when I was moving, when we were moving into the place that we live in, and there was this really, really heavy desk, and he just muscled it into the house, and he just ant strength, lifting something that's just seemed like just way too heavy, and he just did it. I was like, oh my God, I found that so attractive. And it's just nice to know that that he can do those kinds of things. I guess related to that is that he's active. You know, he works out every day. He lifts weights. You know, he gets on his bike and he rides around town. And like he's just never really like sitting on his ass. I mean,
Can you kind of rephrase that one a little bit? Um, I like how you're, focusing a lot on, being active and why you like that.
Mhm.
So, how do we stick to just, maybe give me just an example of what you like about that?
Okay, just like at least when it comes to his physical fitness and his own activities that he likes to do. He's very active. He's not lazy when it comes to that kind of stuff. I do appreciate having a partner who is involved in invested in being active. Okay. And he's also very protective. Like when we go for walks down the sidewalk, he always makes sure that like he's on the side that's closer to the street. And I remember this one time we were at an A's game, and I accidentally I wasn't paying attention. I was probably on my phone or something, and I bumped into this guy, and he turned around and was like, watch where you're going or whatever. And like he stood up for me and was like, hey, don't talk to my woman like that. And it made me feel really good. Yeah. I felt kind of special, like that I had a man that would be like, So.
I can see that. I can see that while you were, explaining this. It brought you back to the memory and made you smile and feel good.
That made me feel good too.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing.
Okay. So she's definitely really nurturing. I was sick recently, and she took care of me the whole time I was sick. Like I stayed home, and I couldn't really do anything. Man flu or whatever they call it. But like, she took care of me, and she nurtured me like back to health, and that was really nice. I think she's really funny the whole way over here. Even today, like, we were fighting, but the whole way over here, she was cracking jokes and making me laugh. And even when shit's bad, she's pretty good at that. Like, she can make me laugh, for sure. The ego would have to work on, but. And she's really supportive. She does a lot for me. And she supports me in whatever I want to do. She encourages, like, me to go after what I want in life. And I really like that.
Can you tell me maybe a time that you noticed that she provided that support? Maybe experience something in particular?
Yeah, actually. When I was in between jobs, I was talking about going back to school, and that was going to be really hard for us, financially, and we had to move and all this stuff, and I was worried about what effect that would have on us.
Mm-hmm.
And she 100% supported my decision to go back to school, even though we had to make some sacrifices, we had to change a few things. She supported that, and it turned out great.
Awesome. Thank you. So thank you guys for taking some time to really think about some of these positive things about each other and sharing a little bit of like an experience or something attached to this characteristic. How do you feel to give each other these different compliments, I guess you could say?
Well, not to be like negative or anything, but one of the reasons why we're here is because I feel like there are areas where he is like super lazy, but this helped me focus on the positive aspect of his active lifestyle, because that's something that I admire. I know that it keeps me on my toes. You know, when I see him out doing his stuff, you know, it makes me want to make sure that I'm keeping up with my stuff. You know, and it's easy to overlook that when our house is just like a total disaster area.
So I get that you guys, want to be able to resolve some of the conflicts that is going on at home. But I just want to stick a little bit right now as to how does it feel to just focus on some of these good things, and how did it make you feel to just share that with each other?
Well, better than I thought, actually. You know, through that whole thing just there was some negativity in there. But I'm looking at the thing, like I can see right there what she wrote down, what she circled. And that makes me feel good. Yeah, a couple negative things just came out of her mouth, but like it was nice to be reminded of that.
So it made you feel good that she actually said these things about you. Okay. How did it feel to just look at some of these things that you had to pick for her and tell her? How did it feel to tell her these things?
That also, like, it was a little bit weird because it's like, you're supportive and here's why. But, like, it was nice to kind of, it was almost like reminiscing, like all the good times, the good things that, that she has about her.
And I'm going to go back to you because I'm not really sure that I heard you say how you felt about listening to, what she had to say about you, and as well as giving her some of these positive compliments.
It's definitely nice to be acknowledged for the support and for the nurturing, and that he thinks I'm funny. You know, like I try. So like that was really nice. And yeah, like I'm sorry, I shouldn't have brought up that negative thing. But these are definitely things that I really like about you. It was nice to be able to really think about it.
Thank you. So, this exercise is really, trying to focus on some of what are the good things about each other, right? That we tend to forget about. We tend to forget about these things when we're angry or we're having conflict, and we like to, sometimes just focus on being very negative with each other. So hopefully, just learning to remember what are some of the positive things that we like about each other, and actually talking to each other about it, pointing that out, will help us, stay in that fondness and admiration of each other. Okay. Thank you guys for participating in this exercise with me. The next one is, are you guys okay with doing a second one?
Yeah. I mean, we're here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. So I'm gonna get these back from you just so kind of.
Need that too.
You can keep that one maybe for your own notes. Okay. So the next one is, what we call the soften startup. And this is really just trying to learn how to soften things up when we're having a conflict versus, maybe starting it off really rough or very harsh. Okay, so as you probably have already experienced, when you are at home having conflict and, maybe voices are raised and things are said, that are pretty rough, which we would call, harsh startup, it might make us kind of tense and might make us feel, very, overwhelmed emotionally and whatnot. And so we're trying to kind of stay away from that, okay? So this exercise is going to kind of really be about learning how we could talk to each other in a softer way opposed to a harsh startup, okay? And so some of the things that I'm going to be looking for in this exercise to avoid, is really talking to each other without, these four horsemen that I've already kind of explained to you guys in the past, right? We're going to try to really avoid, the criticism, the contempt, being defensive or stonewalling. So if you could recall from one of our last sessions, we tend to sometimes do this when we're having conflict, right? So I'm really going to be looking for you guys to not be doing this, and if it's okay with you, if I notice that this starts happening, I'm going to stop it and I'm going to redirect it. Is that okay?
Yep.
Okay. So, so we're going to go over just, some rules for this soft and startup. And so initially, what we want to look for in an initial startup is not really complaining. Not really blaming when we're complaining. Okay, so we're going to assume that you have a complaint or a gripe. You want to discuss it with your partner. Complaining is okay, but criticizing is not. Okay, so taking the blame out of the complaining. Okay, does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Okay.
I don't know if it'll happen.
Well, we're going to try. Okay, so like I said, this is an exercise. We're really trying to, try something different. Maybe something that you have not really done in the past. And then we're going to see how that goes. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the next one is also starting with I statements instead of you statements. Okay? So you, instead of the word I, are usually more likely to be critical and to make your partner feel defensive. Okay? So you are used to, spending a lot of money, or you're still messy in the house, right? Instead of maybe, hey, I would really, like for you to help me clean this house because I feel like I've been doing this by myself lately. Okay? So again, really trying to take responsibility of what is it that we need, what is our complaint, compared to blaming the other person as to what they're doing wrong, okay, or what they're not doing. Describing what is happening without evaluating or judging your partner. Okay, so we really want to really keep away from blaming the partner, but we really just want to describe what is happening. Okay, so for example, instead of saying you don't help clean up, you can say I seem to be winding up doing all of the house cleaning today. I end up having to do all the house cleaning, right? So again,
this is going to be a big one for me.
Okay, so I mean, thank you for being open to doing this exercise, because we want to be able to learn new skills. Right? Are you guys open to doing that today?
Yes.
So I'm going to continue with some of these rules. We really want to talk clearly about what you need. Okay, so instead of asking your partner to guess what you need, or hope that she can or he can read your mind, just really saying it explicitly. Okay, so for example, instead of saying,
Okay. Mind blown, man.
okay, so, thank you.
Can we just stay focused?
Okay, so I know it's a little hard to sometimes, try new things, but you guys were okay with trying new exercises, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay.
I'm
Thanks
sorry.
so much.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, so I'm gonna continue. Okay, guys. So, like I said, instead of saying this dining room is a total mess, we could say I'd appreciate it if you would clean your stuff off the dining room table.
Please continue.
I know. I feel like maybe some of these things that I'm reading right now, maybe you guys have maybe either heard in the past or maybe have a little bit of a challenge with.
I think you're perfectly describing, like, just we fight about this stuff all the time, so maybe this really will be good for us.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, I kind of like that you just said that, because then maybe some of these examples that we work on are going to be possibly true to what is going on already. But what I'm really hoping with this exercise is again, trying to take the blame out, being able to communicate what is the complaint without, criticizing or even judging your partner. So I'm glad that you guys are feeling that maybe you can relate to this a little bit. So just kind of finishing off a little bit what these rules are, we're really going to try to be polite. Okay? So when we make these requests, we want to politely do so by saying please or I would appreciate it if. Okay? Give appreciations if your partner has at some time been better in this situation, then ask for what you need and give some of the appreciation to your partner that they did something right. Coach them if you need to, and just kind of remind them, I remember in the past when you did this, I really appreciate it, type of thing. And try not to store up things, okay? While being specific is better idea than global criticism, storing things up is not really a good idea, okay? So these are the rules. Did these rules make sense, or do you guys need me to explain them a little bit better?
No, they make sense.
I got it.
I think maybe, could you leave them in front of us?
Sure. So here they are.
Just in case.
All right. So, I'm going to kind of go over a few topics. And so I'm going to give you a few of these scenarios. And then I'm going to kind of give an example of what a harsh startup would be. And I would want one of you guys to maybe give an alternative softened startup. Okay? So the first one is the in-laws. Your mother-in-law is coming to visit this evening. You are upset with the way she criticizes how you discipline your children. You want your partner to back you up when you tell your mother-in-law that it hurts your feelings when she does this. So a harsh startup would be, your mother is a wart on the back of humanity. So as you can see, this could be a very harsh startup. So, who wants to kind of give an example of how you would do this in a more softer way?
I guess I can try it. I guess I could say, babe, your mom's coming over tonight, and I remember the last time she was here, she was like, just kind of all in my business about the way that I'm raising our kids, and I would just really like it if you back me up this time when she comes over. Maybe come to my aid. Maybe defend me a little bit if she or defend us a little bit if she starts to get critical. That makes sense.
I like it. What do you think?
I'm receptive to that. I laughed at the statement. I don't really think either of us have had much of a problem with either of our in-laws.
So maybe this is not like a topic that you could relate to too much.
I don't know.
We don't have kids.
Oh.
Well, yeah, there's that, but we still have in-laws. So.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel that your in-laws have been, as far as this scenario, they haven't really been in your business too much? Then is that what I'm hearing?
These parents are pretty cool. I don't have a problem.
Yeah,
they seem to like me.
I mean, the way she phrased that was fine with me.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe that just. Maybe it's easier because it doesn't really resonate with us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you like the way the wording was.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Was that right?
I liked how she, was able to express her complaint and then ask for what she needed. So I definitely think that, sounded good too.
Okay.
Cool. Okay.
Follow the rules.
All right, guys. So the next one is housework. So you wish that your partner would cook dinner tomorrow night or take you out to dinner. Okay? So the hard startup would be, you never take me anywhere and I am sick of doing all the cooking. Okay? So
I feel like I should take this one
Okay.
just because it might be a problem if you take this one.
Well, it would give me an opportunity to practice, but go ahead.
I think that we could both practice, but I like how she wants to take the lead in trying it. So I think that's okay, and then we can kind of switch it.
All right.
No, that's okay.
Okay. Mike, I feel like I've been cooking dinner a lot lately, and it's really starting to wear me down. I was wondering if maybe you might be willing to take the lead, either tonight or tomorrow night. Maybe we can go out to dinner, just something to take the pressure off of me.
You know what? I couldn't say that better.
I really like how she said that.
I hear a lot of complaints about what I don't do, but I like the way I heard that.
Awesome. How did it feel to say that? Say you're complaining that way.
It was different, it felt better because I can see his reaction. Like, I know that most of the time, when I'm like, I'll say something sarcastic, like, guess I'm gonna get started on dinner, or whatever, and then he's just like, okay, just like responds in kind, and then we'll like go outside, and then I'm in the kitchen scrambling, cutting things up, throwing things in pots and pans and stuff like that, and it just like it makes it worse. So it's like it's definitely not natural, but I can see the effect, and that's cool.
Okay. Awesome.
I wish I could just be a bitch about it and have him respond.
Oh yeah, me too. That'd be great.
However, that do you feel that has worked in the past?
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Yeah. So I'm glad that you were able to, try something different, and even though it doesn't feel natural right now, it still felt good to do it that way. And it sounds like you like the way that was said to you.
I didn't hate that.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Did you want to try it?
I can try a different one.
You want to try a different one this time? Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. So the next one's going to be parties. You sometimes get shy in social situations. You think that your partner ignores you when you go to parties and spends time with other people instead of you. Tonight there is a party and you want your partner to spend time with you. So the hard startup would be, I just know that tonight, once again, you will be flirting shamelessly at the party, and I'm sick of it. How can you say that in a more nicer way, a softer way?
I have felt this way before.
I get a lot of attention.
Let's not. So, is it okay to say I feel jealous? It's an I statement.
It's a nice statement, and it's your feeling, and I don't feel that word is being disrespectful in any way. It's the way you feel.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I feel jealous when you spend more time with everyone else and not with me at a party. I don't expect you to spend all your time with me, but I feel a little bit abandoned, and I need you to spend a little bit more time with me when we're at parties.
I am definitely more receptive to spending time with you at a party with regard to feeling abandoned. With the jealousy thing, that I feel like is a personal problem, and I don't want you to feel jealous, but I don't feel like I've given you any reason to be insecure because I always come home to you.
Okay, so let's kind of, I'm going to stop you here and redirect the exercise. So it sounds like there's like a second issue that maybe came up that maybe you were not okay with, which is the jealousy part or insecurity. So let's go back to, is there a different word that you can use or a different feeling that still gets, the point across as to you do have a complaint of wanting her to spend more time with you, and the reasons why. How is it that you feel?
Yeah, I mean, if we're leaving the jealousy thing out of it, I said it. Like, I feel a little bit neglected or abandoned or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Is that better?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is.
I feel those things, and I need you to be with me a little bit more.
Okay.
Does that work?
Mhm.
I mean, does that work?
Yeah, that does work because it makes me feel. It makes me feel a little bit more empathy for you to know that you're feeling hurt, because I feel like with jealousy there's like anger and resentment, and with feeling abandoned it's like I don't want you to feel hurt. I want you. I love you and I want you to feel good.
Right. I like that. I like how you guys were able to explain how you felt, and maybe you were not so comfortable with, the wording that was said, and we gave it another shot, and you were okay with the second time around.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, guys. So let's try the next one. So the next one is sex. You are upset that you and your partner have not made love in some time. You are feeling unsure that your partner finds you attractive. You wish that the two of you could make love tonight. So the harsh starter could be, you are so cold to me. So how would you guys soften that up? Who wants to try this?
I guess I can go.
Okay.
So the harsh one was you're so cold. Like I'm just trying to get laid. Is that what's going on here?
Well,
I mean, I guess there's a better way to put that, but
I think the topic in itself is just you want to maybe have that closeness and have love with your partner.
yeah,
And
you're
so-
right. That was a really douchey way to say that. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I have felt this way before. I'm feeling a little bit disconnected from you. And I need intimacy to remind me that we're connected. And that's kind of hard to say.
Yeah, I feel that too. It's weird to talk about in front of you, to be honest. Like I didn't really think about it as like being here for sexual issues, but like there's definitely.
Well, and this is just an example. So
I didn't expect the examples to hit so close to home.
Right?
yeah, so it sounds like you're a little uncomfortable about it, but if we're just kind of going back to just the way, just in terms of this example, the way how she asked for that, how did you like that?
It was really sensitive.
That's why it felt weird.
Very, very sensitive, and I wouldn't say that either of us are like super sensitive people. So like,
So let me kind of rephrase that then. Do you feel that she was being judgmental or critical of you? In any
no,
way?
not at all.
Okay.
No, I didn't feel that.
So then, assumingly that this would be an issue or a future issue, if she would kind of come to you and kind of asked you in this way, would you feel comfortable with it?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you think you would say it?
I would probably say something like, hey babe, like it's been a while since we've I don't know, like it's been a while since we've gotten naked. Like what's going on? Why don't we go do something?
This feels weird.
It seems like a little bit of an uncomfortable subject for you, in the moment. Is it okay that we go to a different example?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. So the next one, let's see. You want your partner to ask for a raise. Okay. So the hard startup would be you are too wimpy to get a raise for your own family. How would you, ask for your partner to get a raise in a softer way.
You want to field this one?
Okay. Um, I know that you really like your job, and I can see that you're really motivated to go there. But I'm kind of feeling like with the way that our finances are right now, we could use a little bit of extra money. And I know that you work really hard. What do you think about maybe trying to figure out a way to get you a raise?
What did you think about that?
That seemed fine.
You didn't feel maybe judged or criticized in any way. Awesome. I really liked how you were able to state what you felt, that maybe the complaint, without really making him feel like he's not making enough or anything. So I agree with the way how you set that up. Awesome. Okay. I'm going to go to the next topic. You want to spend some time having more fun on the weekends. The hard startup would be you have no idea how to have a good time. You are a workaholic. How would you soften that?
So I want to spend more time with her?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's true. I need, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of feeling like we're not spending enough time together lately. And I know that you've been really busy at work, but I feel like I need you to spend a little bit more time at home. Do you think you could do that?
I think you asked very politely. That was.
It is. It's the rule.
So I like how you started by saying I need. I thought I caught you saying, you're spending a lot of time at work and I need you to spend more time with me. So I feel like there was a little bit of, even though she didn't really catch this, I kind of almost felt a little judged that I'm working a lot. So
That's what I thought. It's like, do you want me to take off work to come spend time with you? Is that it? Or like that was kind of confusing.
So let's try that one again.
Okay. So what's the
So you want to spend you feel like she works a lot.
Okay.
And you want to be able to spend more time with her. So you feel that you're gonna state this to her, that you want her to spend more time with you.
Okay. I'm feeling a little bit disconnected from you lately because we haven't been spending that much time together. How do you feel about setting some time aside for us to spend some quality time together?
I'm receptive to that.
Right?
That works. Yeah.
Cool.
Because I don't feel like he's asking me to take off work to spend
Mm-hmm.
time together. I don't think that, I mean, maybe like every so often, but we have to work,
Right. Right. So I really like how the second time around you responded a lot quicker. So I felt like the wording that she used was a lot more softer the second time around than the first time. So, and it showed in your response. So, great. That's awesome. Okay. How did you feel asking that in the way you did the second time around?
I felt fine.
Cool. All right. So, let's see. So the next one is finances. You wish that the two of you could save more money. The hard startup would be you have got to stop being such an impractical spendthrift. How can you soften that up? So
Wait, what is it? They're spending too much money,
You're
or
spending too much money.
oh, okay.
So you want the partner to stop spending so much money.
Okay. I guess I can take this one. Like I was looking at our statement last night, and I noticed that like both of us have just been spending a lot of money on things that I'm not 100% sure that we really need, and I'm getting a little bit anxious about our finances. Do you think that maybe we could talk about setting a budget, or trying to like weed out some of the areas that we spend where we don't need to?
That felt fine.
Mhm.
I don't mind that at all.
Yeah.
Right. So I really like how, you were able to share, how you felt and what would you want, to see happen. So I thought it was a really great soft start. Okay. Very good. So just to kind of finish off, again, in finances, you wish your partner would spend more money on surprise presents for you. So how would you say that? So sorry, I didn't give you the example of the harsh part of, you are such a miser. When was the last time you spontaneously bought me anything? That would be the harsh part of, so how would you stop something like that?
So, I'm not your typical guy. I kind of like surprise presents, so this might be a good one for me, actually. I really value when you go out of your way to buy me something that you think that I'll like, even if it's just like a game or a new pair of socks or something like that. And I feel like I would appreciate if you did that for me more often.
I like it. I'm not mad at that at all.
I really do too. I like how, you were able to express what you needed and even kind of share, like, maybe it sounded like maybe you don't really ask a lot for things. And this
Guys
was,
aren't supposed to do that. Guys are supposed to be the ones that do
Mhm.
that.
So you're definitely not used to it, right? But you would like it.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a nice way to kind of hint to you.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right, guys. So that was kind of our last example for soft startup. What did you guys think about this?
Those are definitely skills that I can use. I think for me, it's gonna be a matter of like having the presence of mind to do that when like before I get all pissed off. I need to think about this and apply it. So that I feel like you can see that like we both have the skills to be able to do this. It's a matter of actually in the moment remembering to do it.
Right.
Rather than just reverting back to the pattern that we normally have.
Right. And I could see, just in general, when we are having conflict and emotions are very escalated, that it's going to be pretty hard to remember, right, to sometimes do this. And it's going to take practice. It's definitely going to take practice. It's not something that you're used to, it sounds like. But are you willing to maybe try to remember to, rephrase, complaints? Because it's okay to communicate what we don't like. Just it's the way how we are complaining, right? It's the approach, So do you guys feel maybe comfortable moving forward that you could try to state your complaints without criticism or blame or judgment?
I think so. I think it was helpful that some of those examples really stuck out to us. Like, I said things to her that I actually feel, and it was just an example, and like that felt good. I can see how hard it could be, but I liked it.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you guys. So moving on to our third exercise. Are you guys okay with doing the third exercise?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so the next one is our repair exercise. Okay, and so here we're really going to be looking at thinking of maybe a way that we could repair the way we talk to each other. Okay, so in a marital interaction, making repair attempts work is also a great skill. Part of what is important is the ability to put on the brakes when we need to. This is the first concept they teach you when you learn to ski, right? Is learning how to put that brake on that snow slope, right? So you have to learn how to slow down and how to stop. Getting past the negative cycles, our primary focus here is to formalize repair attempts. Because we are formalizing a natural process, even when that may not be working, this will feel somewhat artificial or phony, but is intended to be exactly that. Okay? So formalizing a repair attempt is putting the brake on a marital discussion when it turns negative and you wish to reverse that cycle. This is not like learning a better way to hold a tennis racket. Even though it may be better, it is not what you are used to. And so the new way of holding the racket might feel wrong or unnatural. Okay? So we're going to use a repair checklist often in our conversations. Okay? So eventually you might consider replacing use of the list with some other ritual like maybe raising your hand or announcing, I'm trying to repair, our conversation right now. Okay. For now, we want to introduce this artificial gimmick to put the brakes on the interactions when the interactions go negative. Okay. So I'm going to give you this repair checklist, and I want you guys to think about maybe what is the most recent conflict that you guys want to maybe think about. We're going to actually have both of you give a little bit of, your side of the story and perspectives of this conflict. We're going to try to just first, hear her. And then in return, we're going to hear him and his side of the story without really interrupting each other. We really just want to hear each side. And then we're going to go off of that to see maybe trying to remember maybe some of the argument and what was said and how could we, maybe rephrase it. So again, kind of like I explained, it might feel kind of phony, it might feel kind of weird. It's okay. It's just really learning this new skill that might help us in the future. Okay? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Any questions?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I see you looking. I know which one we're talking about. I know what's up.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so basically, I mean, this has happened like more than once, but this is like the most recent blowout.
Yeah, that's why I know what's going on.
So, our house just gets really, really, really messy, right? It gets to a point where like I can't stand it anymore, and I just feel like I have to clean it, right? So then, like, he goes to work, and I spend, hours cleaning our place from top to bottom, and he comes home, and he's like, "Oh, this place looks really good," and then proceeds to just like take his pants off, throw them on the floor, leaving dishes in the sink, and it blew my mind that like I could have like done all of this, and you come in and the place is just like sparkling, and then just immediately start fucking it up.
Okay. So hold on here. Just let's just remember that it's okay for you to tell a story. Just
Get my shoulders back down here.
We're gonna really try to just not be contemptuous of each other, be polite with each other, and so continue with maybe just being respectful.
Well, it just really, really bothers me that I feel like when it comes to caring for us, caring for our environment, making meals, it's like all the domestic stuff, it all falls to me. And if I don't do it, it doesn't get done. And it wears on me, and I don't understand how somebody can be cognizant of the fact that they're not putting anything into the situation of caring for the household and never actually think to themselves like, oh, maybe I should do this, you know?
All right. So thank you for sharing, how you feel, and let's hear Mike's side of the story.
I just don't understand why everything has to be clean in that moment. I don't. I get home from work. I want to take off my pants and sit on the couch. I want to put my dishes in the sink and not wash them. I want to relax. I'm not going to leave my pants on the living room floor. I'm not going to leave my dishes in the sink, but I'm going to leave them there for a little bit because I just want to relax. Work is stressful, and I get home and I do understand that you spent the whole time, like all that time cleaning. But I'm not going to fuck it all up. I'm not going to just, I don't know. I'm just tired of having this argument.
Okay. Thank you for sharing, your perspective. And so, can you guys, maybe think about a specific statement or phrase that was said to each other where you feel maybe you can use one of these sentences to repair that, right? To kind of put the brakes on a little bit when tension started to get high or stress levels, emotions started to get elevated.
Mm-hmm.
And how would you put the brakes by, maybe substituting what you said or what was said with one of those sentences?
Can I ask a question?
Mm.
Was that your biggest complaint?
What?
That I would just come home and trash the house that you cleaned?
Yeah. Okay. Why?
I'm just trying to look at this and think about that.
Well, it's like the whole thing, but like that last time that we argued, that was what set me off.
Okay. So I really appreciate you sharing, both of you, your perspectives. So just kind of going back to remembering maybe a phrase or statement that was said in that argument that might have set you off a little bit. How can you repair that? How can you say the same thing with maybe a little softer way?
So the reason I asked if that was your main complaint, I'm sorry, it looks like you were going to talk.
Go for it.
Is I immediately saw one that might help. My part of this problem. My part of this problem is that I guess I have a different level of clean than you do. I'm okay with leaving that stuff for later. And that's my part in this problem. I don't know. Is that right?
Did you use one of these phrases?
Yeah, and this one right here, it says my part of this problem.
Okay, so you're accepting what you're, how you're in fault, right? With that issue.
Like I realize for someone to clean the whole house and then have me come in and just like, in her eyes, I'm trashing it, and in my eyes, I'm not. But I realize that that's my problem, and not hers.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks. I don't know. I mean, I guess you're right. We do have different levels of like what we can tolerate, because like obviously, I'm not like the biggest stickler about having a clean environment. So I guess my part of this problem is that I take it upon myself to do all the cleaning, and just I don't ask you to help me, and I could be better about that. Yeah. Would you help me if I asked?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Just don't ask me right after work.
When can I ask you?
Like an hour after work.
Alright.
I like how you guys are, learning to not only communicate with each other in a softer way, but also even coming up with an agreement of when, this can happen, right?
Looks like we just did let's compromise and let's find our common ground.
Mhm. I like that.
Mhm.
Is there another one that you guys notice that maybe you can use instead of?
I have one. The one that says just listen to me right now and try to understand,
Mhm.
because like when he comes into the door and like throws his pants on the ground and I just like basically like blow up, and then of course like he doesn't respond well, so he's like whatever, leave me alone, or whatever he says. I could say just listen to, or actually, I don't even like that one. Number 4 sucks. Number 11, this is important to me. Please listen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Okay, so that whole time you were talking about number 4, I was looking at please don't lecture me. Like, she's literally just like talking about how she wants to lecture me. Because I don't like that either. Just listen to me. No.
Mm-hmm.
Stop lecturing me. But this is important to me. When you start it with that sounds different to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because like if you're just like just listen, I'm like yeah, no.
I wouldn't do that if you told me to just listen either.
Right? But when you tell me something is important to you, that means something to me. So that could be a really good one.
Star. So I really like how you guys are exploring, what feels maybe even a little bit more comfortable or more natural. And then at the same time you guys are coming with an agreement, right? And kind of meeting each other in the middle and starting to see where maybe we could compromise, right? So how does it feel to, you're still able to communicate a complaint without necessarily being critical or judgmental, and even doing it a little bit, with a softer edge? How does that feel for you guys? Do you guys think that this is something that you guys could do at home?
I think we could try.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely want to,
Okay.
because this feels better than what we've been doing, and I don't want to keep having those fights because it just like it really puts me out for like a long period of time afterward. It's like a couple of days where I'm like thinking about it, and
I'm afraid that like being in here makes it easier to do this. But I'm willing to try to do it outside of here.
So definitely, I'm going to give you those worksheets so that you guys have something to remember. And like I said, and I explained it a little bit before we started this exercise, it might feel a little phony at first. You might try other things like a flag or just raising your hand and putting the break as, as kind of almost like a reminder of I want to put a break to this, conversation that is escalating and that one of you maybe noticed, and that, you would maybe know to either think of something softer or just look at your list, right? Just a lot of the times we need reminders. So looking at the list is okay until you start feeling more natural, right? So thank you guys for, really putting effort and trying this exercise with me. I really appreciate that. This was our last exercise, and I just kind of want to, just remind you a little bit that, we definitely have to be gentle with each other, right? I know that when we're having conflict, emotions start getting escalated, we start feeling angry at each other, and unless we are a little bit more calm, we might even be saying things that we might regret later, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that this exercise, these 3 exercises, kind of help maybe learn a couple of skills that you could probably implement at home. If I would have to, kind of ask what your motivation level of trying this is from 1 to 10, what would that be?
I'm at like an 8, 9. Like, I'm really, really, really sick of having these fights.
If it works as well as it did in here, I agree with that. I'm in the same boat.
Okay, awesome. So I'm going to just kind of, just give you guys a little suggestion to work at home in this next week before we meet again. And it's really kind of building on that fondness and admiration. And so trying, maybe for the next, week until we meet again, looking for maybe 2 good positive things to say about each other. So it's really, it's a lot easier to kind of start building on that emotional bank account that we talked about before.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, when we are having a conflict, that we have like this little cushion of, I have been hearing the last couple of days, really nice things said about you, and so then you're able to kind of work these conflicts out a little bit softer. So I'm gonna, just kind of recommend. Do you guys think you guys can do that for the next couple of days until we meet again? Each day, think about 2 nice things to say about each other and kind of build on that.
I can try, yeah.
It's worth a shot.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
Give it a try.
Okay, so if, again, I would have to put a scale of motivation of you guys trying that from 1 to 10, how motivated are you?
It's more like a 6 or 7.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like, I might not even remember to do that. So,
Tell me a little bit of why maybe you guys are feeling that motivation is not so much there as
it's just uncharacteristic. I mean, this is kind of uncharacteristic too, but like that's like extra uncharacteristic of either of us to, think of like nice things just to say to each other. It's like this is like solving a problem and it's what we want to do. I guess I should just speak for myself here. But when it comes to that, that's like above and beyond, like that's extra, and like I'm so focused on this.
Does it have to be something we say? Because I'm kind of better about showing it.
I guess, it's really nice when you're able to say it because you could hear it. I think that if you could show it, that's, taking it above and beyond. I would definitely encourage you to show it as well. But it would be something that I feel that maybe you want to say to your partner so they can actually hear it.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Okay, guys. So unless you guys have any questions or, last minute concerns that you guys want to talk about, we're pretty much done.
Okay. No, I'm good.
Anything?
All right. Then we'll see you next week.
All right.
Phew.
Gosh.
That one was the longest.
Holy shit.